Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the AZ Sports Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. Once again, I'm your host, Alden K, back here on another Friday evening. A little bit of a later episode today, had to delay it for an hour, but we are here, ready to get the show going. We're going to start off with the Diamondbacks, some of their latest games and some of their latest news. Justin Martinez recently came back from injury. Zach Gallen pitched today against the St. Louis Cardinals. Had a decent game, but Torey Lovullo leaving him in for too long led to the Cardinals coming back and winning the game 4-3. So the D-backs drop another one. We'll talk a little bit more about the entire series as well against the Dodgers as well and their future games. And of course with the Cardinals, cover a little bit about Sean Murphy-Bunting missing the full 2025 season with a non-related football injury that will sideline him for the entire season. And we'll talk a little bit about how that affects the secondary and basically how the young guys will get to play a lot more with him out for the season. And of course with college baseball and softball, with the baseball tournaments and softball tournaments, continue to talk about those as well and continue to give the latest on those kind of news. But with that being said, once we hear a quick word from our sponsors, we will be back to talk about the Diamondbacks, so don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a minute. Again, you're listening to the AZ Sports Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We will be right back.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back to the AZ Sports Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Once again, big shout out to our sponsors, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Make sure to order on the website, planetjerky.net, and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky, and of course, Vital Apparel as well. Make sure to use the IESR code in order to get 15% off. Take advantage of some of the discounts that you guys can get your hands on as well, especially when times are tough for some people as well. And of course, Seal the Deal Wax Seals you can order on the website. And of course, shout out to IE Sports Radio. Make sure to check out everybody's websites and get the latest information on some of the amazing people that we have on here. And of course, you guys can follow me on X at AZ Sports Zone IE, where I retweet a bunch of Arizona sports news and give updates on every Arizona team as much as I can. But with that being said, happy to be back here on another Friday evening. I know we're going live a little bit later than usual, so I apologize for that. Taryn Rodriguez tuning in early in the show. Have an amazing show. Appreciate it, Taryn. Thank you. So let's get to the Diamondbacks. So Diamondbacks have kind of had it rough lately. They continue to be the inconsistent team that we've been seeing for what seems like the entire season. I did talk a little bit about the Rockies series, the first game specifically, where they won 8-0. But since the last time I went live, the Diamondbacks have played 6 games, and they have gone. So they have gone 2 for 4 in those games. So a little bit of a rough outing so far. Not really the team that we expect to see, not really the team that we want to see so far. So I'm just going to go through pretty much every game since the last time I went live. That's normally what I do, and that's normally how I give you guys updates on the teams. So in the second game against the Rockies, Zach Gallen was pitching, and from beginning to end, it was a very terrible game for him. On the first pitch, he gave up a home run, and from there, it was bad. Um, the offense, they did their part. They really did their part, and the pitching was just bad in this game, and it's pretty much been bad for a majority of games as well. And it wasn't just Gallen. I know Gallen gave up 6 runs, and it was terrible. Um, and then Jalen Beeks came in, gave up 4 runs, and put the Rockies right back into the game, because that was the thing too. Despite Gallen giving up those 6 runs, he did not get the loss for this game. Normally, starting pitchers that do that, you would think that they get the loss for giving up 6 runs, and he didn't. He did not get the loss, because the other bullpen pitchers were bad in this game too, and the offense really did their part. You could not have possibly asked for more from the offense. You really couldn't. This was a 14-12 ball game. Very, very high scoring game, and it turned out to be who was the better offense, and it was the Rockies. And it's crazy to say, because this was their 8th win, and I'm pretty sure this is still, to this day, as of May 23rd, 2025, this is still the last time the Rockies won a game, almost a week ago, as of tomorrow. So, yeah, just a very bad game from the pitching. It feels like the pitching, even though Ken Kendrick invested money into the pitching, it's still just what seems to be the biggest issue. Eduardo Rodriguez has the highest ERA among qualified pitchers. Corbin Burns started off the season kind of slow, even though he has picked it up a little bit. Zach Gallen continues to look like a little bit of a disgrace. And Merrill Kelly's doing a good job. Brandon Pfaadt's doing a pretty good job. Other than those two, I don't really count Ryan Nelson and how he's played so far, because of the fact that it's only been 1 start. He has mostly been a bullpen pitcher this year. So with that being said, I'm not really going to attack him on that much as a starter. But with Eduardo Rodriguez out, for I believe was the 15-day list, we'll continue to see how Ryan Nelson does in his place. And we'll just continue to see how, or if, for that matter, the Diamondbacks pitching can really get it going or bounce back a little bit. However, in the final game against the Rockies, the pitching was lights out. The pitching was very good. The offense was also bad. So it's kind of the vice versa. Pitching was good. Offense was bad compared to the second game of that series. It was literally a 1-0 ball game. 1-0. All the D-backs needed in this game was a home run from Ketel Marte. That's all they needed in that game. And Merrill Kelly pitched 7 scoreless innings, had 11 strikeouts, which I believe is his career high in a game. He only gave up 1 hit. And then Kevin Ginkel and Shelby Miller went to the game and saved the game for the rest of the outing. So even though they won this game, it really felt like a loss. Scoring 1 run in a win against the Rockies. Chase Dollander pitched in the game for the Rockies. He pitched almost 5 innings, and he was the one who gave up the 1 run. There was just no Rockies offense in this game, except for the 9th inning when the D-backs bullpen almost blew it, which is another thing too, the bullpen. It was just, I feel like everything about the D-backs pitching has been off this season, from starters, depending on who's starting, from a majority of the starters to the bullpen minus AJ Puck and Justin Martinez, who have both been injured for a while now until today. Obviously, we got Justin Martinez back today, but AJ Puck is still going to be out for a while. So unfortunately, that's just how it is. The bullpen has not been really helpful this season, which really sucks, because that's really what determines a lot of the D-backs games, because the D-backs do tend to find themselves in close games the majority of the time. And here's the thing too. Diamondbacks have the most saves this season. This season, they have the most saves so far. But they also have blown 10 games, 10 saves exactly. They've blown 10 saves so far this season, which I believe is the most in Major League Baseball right now. So, yeah, that's kind of a weird stat but unfortunately, that's just where we're at. A lot of games come down to the bullpen. A lot of games also get blown by the bullpen, and it doesn't really help when the starting pitchers, um, don't really show up either. But then again, there's also games where the starting pitchers do their job, they have a good game, and then here comes the bullpen to mess it all up. So it just kind of a weird season so far regarding the Diamondbacks pitching. Their offense, though, they've done their part. There are games, kind of like today, where the offense is quiet, but then again, in a 162 game season, you're not going to get your best from your offense in every single game. But that's why I don't criticize the offense that much. I criticize the pitching the most because it's not like, oh, they're consistently um, good and they occasionally have a bad game, this and that. No, the pitching, it seems like they constantly suck or they're constantly having struggles and they occasionally have a good game. Occasionally. It's an ongoing issue with the pitching. I don't know who's to blame for that, if it's Brian Kaplan, Torey Lovello making bad decisions, or if it's just the pitchers and they suck, but something or someone's got to be blamed for it. And it feels like it's a little bit of everything at this point because you can't really blame it solely on one person because all the bullpen pitchers, minus a few, have struggled. And then the coaching, of course, Torey Lovello, um, keeping in a bullpen pitcher for too long. It's either that or he takes them out too early when they're playing good, and then it leads to an even bigger disaster when he brings in another pitcher who tends to blow it away. So um, it's just for pitching. It's been such a weird season. This Rockies series definitely summed it up because first game it was 8-0, second game it was 14-12, and then third game it was 1-0. So pitching has just been weird. There's no other way to put it. But after that series, they traveled over to Dodger Stadium for 3 games with the Dodgers after playing the Dodgers the previous week and taking 2 out of 4 against them at home. So this time it was in LA. The first game was it was good. I mean, they won. There were some struggles that I kind of wanted to point out. Brandon Pfaadt had a pretty good game, 6 innings. He only gave up 3 runs. So Ryan Thompson gave up 2 late in the game, and it seemed like they could have came back, and the Dodgers could have done what they did last series when they blew it in the 9th inning. But no, Pfaadt had himself a pretty good game. The Dodgers had Landon Knack, and then by the time it was the end of the 3rd inning, it was 7-0. And then what seems like we normally see from the Diamondbacks a lot is they go up big early in the game, like this game. It was 7-0 after 3 innings. And then for the rest of the game, they go ice cold for a little while. And then, but unlike what we normally see, they did score 2 extra insurance runs in the 8th, which led them to the 9-5 victory. So really good offensively again. And for the most part, the pitching was pretty good in this game too. You know, when you're facing a super team like the Dodgers, it's kind of hard to, keep them under 3 runs or this and that. So overall, the first game was pretty good, and it did show some pretty good signs for what was going to happen the rest of that series. But since that game on Monday, the Diamondbacks have lost 3 games in a row. They haven't won since. The second game they lost 4-3 in a very close outing. This game went into extras, and the Dodgers ended up taking this game by scoring 3 runs in the 10th inning to walk it off. And the funny thing is, it wasn't really the Dodgers' most dangerous hitters who walked off the Diamondbacks. Ohtani, he didn't really do much in this game. He didn't hit a home run. He didn't drive in a run or anything like that. He had a base hit, but that was about it. Mookie Betts had a base hit, didn't do much. Freeman had 2 hits, but in the 10th inning, it was all Max Muncy, Tommy Edman, and I believe Will Smith, I want to say, who started all of it. So it wasn't even the Dodgers toughest batters who walked off the Diamondbacks in that game. And for a majority of this game, it was 1-0 Dodgers. The Dodgers were winning this game for a majority of the time. Ryan Nelson gave up 1 run in 5 innings, so a good outing from him. And then Shelby Miller, it was just one of those bad games. For the most part, I like what Shelby Miller has done for the Diamondbacks for the most part of this season, but that second game against the Dodgers was just one of those games where he couldn't deliver. It is what it is. I know D-backs fans want to criticize him for having that one bad game, but it was one game. Shelby Miller is not really the closer. He's a good 7th, 8th inning pitcher. He's not really the closer. He shouldn't be the closer. That's how much Justin Martinez and AJ Puck mean to this team. And with both of them out and still being out, the bullpen has not been easy at all. It just is what it is. But the Dodgers ended up taking the second game 4-3. And then in the third game, very disappointing. Corbin Burnes had actually a pretty good game. He did give up all 3 of the runs that the Dodgers scored, but he pitched 7 innings. You can't really hate on him for that. He did get the loss, obviously, but only 3 runs in 7 innings. You can't really get mad at Corbin Burnes when the only offense you got in that third game was a home run from Ketel Marte. That's literally all they got. That's the only run that they drove in, was a home run from a solo shot from Marte. So it is what it is. And Teoscar Hernandez was the one who drove in all 3 with the 3-run homer that he had in the 6th inning. So, yeah, they ended up losing that series. But yeah, it just really sucks the way that they lost. When they especially in the second game, they really could have won that series. It just led to little mistake by little mistake, and whoever makes the first mistake normally is the team that loses. And it was the Diamondbacks. So it is what it is. But today they traveled over to St. Louis. By the way, I hope St. Louis is okay. I heard they recently had a huge earthquake. So I hope St. Louis is actually good right now. But yeah, the Diamondbacks traveled to St. Louis today, and they currently have a 3-game series with them before they take on the Pirates back at home for a 3-game series. But in the first game today, yeah, they lost another close one, 4-3. It's the stupid little mistake after little mistake after little mistake. Zach Gallen, he pitched a decent game. He did blow the game for the most part. He gave up 4 runs in the 6th, which led to the Cardinals winning. But he had a decent game. He pitched 5 scoreless innings before the 6th, and Torey Lovello just left him in the game for too long. And that's what led to the loss. Zach Gallen should not have been in the game for that long. He shouldn't have. And the bullpen, they did their job. Juan Murillo ended the inning. Scott McGough pitched a 1-2-3 inning, and then Ryan Thompson pitched a good inning as well. So the bullpen didn't give up anything. It was just the fact that Zach Gallen was left in the game too long. But Marte had a home run in that game. For a majority of the game, it was 1-0 until obviously Gallen's left in for too long. The Cardinals score 4 runs in the 6th, and it's game over. And then the Diamondbacks score runs when the game is already out of their reach. They scored 2 runs in the 9th. So basically, they gave some false hope. But yeah, so for this game, Gallen, I'm not going to hate on Gallen for this game because he should not have been in the game that late. It is what it is. And then the Cardinals pitching was pretty good, so it was a little bit of both pitching and offense. It was just one of those games. It is what it is. But we'll see how they continue. They got 2 more games against the Cardinals. Both of them are 11:15 in the morning tomorrow. And then they have a 3-game series against the Pirates and then a 3-game series against the Nationals. I will be going to the first game against the Nationals on Friday, May 30th, the day before my birthday. So, yeah, there we go. That'll be fun right before my birthday. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully the Cardinals. We'll get to the Cardinals, but not for baseball here in a second. But yeah, hopefully the Diamondbacks can clean up their pitching and really get it going there. It's been, that's kind of how it is in baseball. Just one of those weird unfortunate events where pitching's not there, offense isn't there in some games, and then in some games they are there, but it still isn't enough. That's kind of how weird baseball is. We'll just see how they go from here. Still plenty of baseball left. I think it's only been 50 games. We still have over 100 games left. So D-backs fans, I know it's frustrating. Every right to be frustrated at what this team is doing right now, especially because they invested a lot of money this offseason. And there's just a lot that we expect, especially after what they've been able to do these last couple of years. And it just feels like they've been underperforming lately. So I get it. But still early in the season. I hate saying this because there's so many games that the Diamondbacks really could have won. There's so many games that they should have won. There's so many games that I wish that they did win because they play in a very tough national league. So I feel like if they were in the American League right now, they probably have a playoff spot locked in already at this point, honestly. The AL is a lot weaker compared to the AL. The AL is a lot weaker compared to the NL. So it's going to be rough to bounce back from this, just being in a tough National League conference. But unfortunately, that's the bed that the Diamondbacks are going to have to lie in. It is what it is. But with that being said, we're going to go into a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the Arizona Cardinals. Sean Murphy-Bunting will miss the full 2025 season. Talk a little bit about how bad that is and how that will affect the Cardinals secondary. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Again, you're listening to the AZ Sports Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. Be back in a minute.
Hockey fans, I'm Adam Kernick.
And I'm Zach Puplis.
Together, we are the newest version of Hockey Talk on IE Sports Radio, The Neutral Zone.
Zone.
We love hockey, but we also know it's not everyone's first sport. So we want to make this show as much for new fans as for the diehards.
Whether you can name all the Swedes on the 08 Red Wings Stanley Cup team, or if you can't tell if Varlamov is a goalie or the latest trendy vodka, we're here to help. With facts, figures, and outrageous fans, we bring you all the hard-hitting hockey news you can handle, while still keeping it fun and on the rails. Well, mostly.
So tune in every week as we go around the hockey world, from college to Canada, the minors and the majors, and everywhere in between.
So bring your cellies.
And your one-timers.
You wicked wristas.
And be sure to protect your five-hole.
Catch the Neutral Zone every week on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
We promise not to pick on the Arizona Coyotes every episode.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Dentarius Locke.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That gives you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
And welcome back to the AZ Sports Zone here on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Just covered up the Diamondbacks, their latest games and latest news. Hopefully, they will recover from their 3-game losing streak, and hopefully, they can get their pitching going a little bit better. It's been rough, but still plenty of baseball left. And by the way, guys, make sure to check out everybody's shows here on iSports Radio if you can. We have a bunch of amazing people that will give you weekly updates on their teams and what city they support and what sport they support. By the way, also make sure to check out the Bullpen Bulletin every Tuesday, the other show that I am on with Ricky, Mike, and I, where we cover everything baseball from pros to the minors to college, this and that. We currently have been talking about the tournaments a lot lately, which I'll give updates on the Arizona teams here shortly. But with that being said, for now, also remember to follow me on X at AZ Sports Zone IE if you want to get the latest updates and latest news on the Arizona sports life. I feel like we're kind of in the dead period a little bit regarding Arizona sports right now. I mean, the Suns season is kind of dead right now. It's not really going on. Nothing to talk about the Suns today, obviously, because there's not really a lot to talk about. Um, Cardinals, obviously, we're about to get to. Diamondbacks, just that's I feel like that's mainly in college baseball, obviously, and softball. Other than that, we're kind of at the dead period right now. So but let's get into the Cardinals while we're at it. I actually can't wait for the Cardinals season. I really cannot wait for it. I feel like that the Cardinals are kind of underdogs going into this season, and I think that they'll really make some noise uh, and really show out. But obviously, one thing about the Cardinals is they do deal with injuries a lot. And when we're not even at training camp yet, Sean Murphy Bunting is expected to miss the entire 2025 2026 NFL season with a non related football injury. Now, it just feels like the Cardinals, especially their secondary, cannot catch a break. I get this. I get this. Sean Murphy Bunting had a terrible season last year. In fact, I think he was the worst defensive back on our team last year. He was a guy who would normally get called for holding penalties, pass interference. He was injured for a lot of the season. I feel like last season was probably one of the worst times regarding the free agents that the Cardinals signed, because it felt like every guy that Monty Ossenfort signed in the previous offseason, all of them were injured last season. Murphy Bunting was injured a little bit. Philo Nichols was out for pretty much the whole year. Justin Jones was out for pretty much the whole year. Jonah Williams was out for a majority of the year at right tackle. Um, so in terms of injuries, it was just a very bad season for the Cardinals last year. And despite the injuries they dealt with, and despite not really showing a whole lot of effort from certain players, they still went 8-9. So I don't think people really realize that. And that shows a lot of good signs of what this Cardinals team can really do going into next season. Um, it really is, and it's unfortunate that um, Sean Murphy Bunting won't even be playing a snap this season. They signed him to a 3-year deal. Yeah, it was only $20 million, but still. Um, but what this does mean, I guess, in terms of this injury and in terms of the secondary, we're going to see a lot more of the young guys, especially Will Johnson. Um, and by the way, to this day, I know it's been it's been literally exactly a month since the NFL draft, but I am still very shocked that they were able to get Will Johnson in the second round. Like, I still don't know how they were able to pull that off. But this means we're going to see a lot more of him. And either way, Will Johnson was probably going to get more snaps than Sean Murphy Bunting anyway. I know the injuries are a little bit of a concern, but if Will Johnson can overcome those injuries, can you guys imagine what he can be capable of doing for the long-term future of the Cardinals? I think that the Cardinals did draft themselves a really good defensive back out of Michigan. injuries is the only concern, and I know injuries and Cardinals, they actually go well together because the Cardinals deal with injuries nonstop. So yeah, injuries and Cardinals do go well together. So let's hope that that doesn't affect him as well. But yeah, that's basically what this means regarding the Sean Murphy Bunting injury. Um, we're going to see a lot more from the young guys, Starling Thomas as well. Um, and the secondary, even though the defense had a great second half last year, secondary still had its issues. But then again, that's pretty much every part of a football team. Um, the pass rush as well. Another reason why I think the Cardinals defense will be a lot better. But yeah, Sean Murphy Bunting being out for the entire year, and I really do feel bad, and it really does suck, especially because of the fact that he did miss the entire year last season. Um, and or excuse me, he's going to miss the entire year this season, and he really did have um a bad season last year, which is why I was looking forward to him playing this year. I was looking forward to see him at least have some kind of resurgence, have some kind of a new awakening. Um, the guy's been the Super Bowl champion before. He knows what winners are, so I really thought he could have bounced back this season. But yeah, he's not even going to have a chance to do that. He's out for the year now, non-related football injury, and that's the thing. Non-related football too just sucks. It sucks for any athlete, and it just sucks. It is what it is. Very unfortunate turn of events there for Murphy Bunting. But if they do keep him, we'll see him for the 26-27 season, I guess. And we'll see if he can be any better. I want to talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. Because if anything's really trending about the Cardinals as of lately, it's how much bigger Marvin Harrison Jr. looks now. If you guys saw Marvin Harrison Jr. in his rookie season, he was a little bit thinner. By the looks of it, he's put a lot of work in the offseason as far as being able to put more pounds on and really more muscle on. So he's looking ready for year 2. And I'm really excited. I think that this player, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is what I'm excited for the most about the Cardinals, how he can go into year 2 with expectations. Obviously, I know his rookie year we had expectations. I feel like we had a little bit too high of expectations in his rookie year. I know he was drafted 4th overall. Larry got drafted 3rd overall. Look what he turned into. So obviously, Cardinals and their fans, including myself, actually were going to have expectations on the guy. But rookie years, it was his rookie year. So let's not label him a bust yet. And people forget he actually had a better rookie year than Larry Fitzgerald had in his rookie year. He had a better rookie year or I believe it was an identical rookie year to his father in his rookie year. And I know people want to label him a bust a little bit early because Malik Neighbors was Malik Neighbors last season, even though he didn't really have anyone good throwing him the ball. But look at what Marvin Harrison Jr. had. He had to split catches with Trey McBride, Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, occasionally James Conner as well. And not just that, but he had a terrible play caller. Drew Petzing, at least last season, did a very poor job on the play calling. It was bad. And that kind of took a toll on the chemistry that Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. were trying to build, which is the reason why we did not see a lot of productivity from Marvin Harrison Jr. as we would have liked to see. But unfortunately, that it is what it is. It was only his rookie year. Now he's going into year 2. He has the rookie year experience under his belt. He's looking a lot bigger and ready to go for year 2. Him and Kyler Murray have been working together during the offseason. Larry Fitzgerald has been mentoring him a little bit. I know that his father's a Hall of Famer. He's a legend. So he has him and Larry Fitzgerald to mentor off of for this upcoming season. So everything seems like it's going well for Marvin Harrison Jr. in this offseason. So the question is, can he take that onto the football field for year 2? I think he can. I think he's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver with maybe double-digit touchdowns next season. He had 8 touchdowns in his rookie year last season and didn't really have a lot of catches for a wide receiver 1. So I am really excited to see what Marvin Harrison Jr. can bring to the Cardinals next season. Hopefully he can really have a better year too. His rookie year, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't what people were hyping him up to be. But let's hope he can take what he learned from his rookie year, the work that he's put in this offseason, and get ready for year 2, which is going to come by sooner than we think. It's going to be very quick. Football is going to come by quicker than we think. So very excited for the Cardinals this season. Hopefully we get more news on them coming out later. We're going to go into our second and final break. When we come back, we're going to give the latest on the college baseball and college softball with the tournaments and with the games that have been going on lately. Some pretty good games. So we'll cover all of that here when we come back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. You're listening to the AZ Sports Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Be right back in a minute.
Cleveland and Columbus sports fans, I've got the show for you. I'm Jen B, host of the Show of the Land right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. You want football? I've got the Browns, the Buckeyes, the Eagles, the Purple Raiders, and more for you. You want basketball? I've got the Cavs and the Charge for you. You want hockey? I've got the Blue Jackets and the Monsters for you. You want football, aka soccer? I've got the Crew and the Crunch for you. You want volleyball? I'm going to unleash the fury for you. You want more Cleveland and Columbus sports? I've got them all for you, from the majors to the minors to the college rinks. Catch me, Jen B, every week on the Show of the Land right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sport.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back to the AZ Sports Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Just covered up the Cardinals and the very unfortunate Sean Murphy Bunting injury. and basically how much that's going to take a toll on the secondary. Not too much, but still sucks that he's going to be out for the rest of the season. It really sucks to see a guy get hurt like that, especially before the season, and especially when it has nothing to do with football, non-related football injury, and that's going to sideline him for the entire season. And we're not even close to the season yet, so sucks, but it is what it is. Once again, guys, make sure to follow me on X at AZ Sports Zone IE if you want the latest and well, hopefully quickest updates on uh all Arizona teams. I try to be as quick on there when news comes out as I can, but obviously life happens sometimes. So if not, I'll just be live on Friday, give you guys my latest updates. Kind of like right now. I know we're live a little bit later, but hopefully that changes soon. It is what it is. But with that being said, let's get into college baseball and softball for Arizona sports. So obviously the tournaments were set up for the regular season just wrapped up, by the way. Since the last time I went live, ASU went winless. They went 0-2. They got swept by Oklahoma State to end their season, which was very bad um, going into the tournaments, I guess. And a couple days ago against BYU, ASU lost. They lost 2-0. So if you guys follow the bullpen bulletin, you guys may or may not have heard that when I was talking about the ASU game, I was really going to look to see if their pitching would at least bounce back a little bit, because it seems like ASU's offense is normally what wins them games. And their pitching, yeah, there's games where they show up, but there's also games where they don't show up. And they did not really have a lot of good momentum going into the BYU game. The last 4 games, they gave up at least 5 runs. So it was very bad for ASU's pitching to end the regular season. And in this game against BYU, it was the exact opposite. The pitching was great. They gave up 2 runs, which was enough for BYU, but it was still great. And the offense was terrible. I just feel like I'm the ultimate jinx or something like that. It is what it is. But yeah, they lost 2-0. Very disappointing game. Just a very disappointing. There's no other way to put it. The offense did nothing. They did not show up in a very important game, and they might as well should have just stayed home at that point. It is what it is. Yeah, BYU, all they needed were 2 runs. So it's very unfortunate, and it is what it is. Yeah, that's how their season ends. 2-0. Bye-bye. See you next year. Yeah. But ASU softball, yeah, they lost last Saturday to Santa Barbara. I think I did not cover this game. So I talked about on Friday how they lost to San Diego State 2-3, and then after that they lost in extras 4-3 to Santa Barbara, which knocked them out. So ASU is done for baseball and softball at this point. Very disappointing ways to end both of their seasons. At least softball, at least they actually scored something and they at least put up a fight. They went down in extras. ASU they should have just stayed in Tempe. They should not have made the trip to Texas. They should have just stayed home at that point. So yeah, very, very bad way for both teams to unfortunately, end their just a very bad outing. Sucks. Especially because I'm an ASU guy. This one hurts the most for me. But let's hope for a good bounce back, I guess, next time around. Damn. But U of A, on the other hand, I'm going to start off with softball first. So, hold up. So softball, they lost to Ole Miss. So in the regionals, they beat Santa Clara 13-5. I talked about that. And then since then, they played 4 games. They lost to Ole Miss the first game 10-8. So an all-around offensive performance there. Pretty good outing for the offense, but it just came down to who made the first mistake on the pitching crew, and it was U of A, obviously, and then they beat GCU 4-1. So the offense did their part, and then the pitching obviously lights out, which I said was going to be a very big determining factor going into that regional tournament for U of A was their pitching. A lot of games that they win, they're not like as big of an offensive force as much as ASU was as far as scoring runs, this and that. Um, but with their ability to base run and really put the ball in play and be able to drive in runs when needed, that is what makes U of A such a thriving team. And that's what really helped them in the win against GCU. So very good performance there from or GCU from the so good performance there from the Wildcats. And then in the game after that, the day after that, they took on Ole Miss again. This time they beat them 10-1 in only 5 innings. So only 5 innings were played. They won 10-1. Pitching, another good game. Offense was there, even better than they were in the GCU game. So they did all they could have possibly done in that game. So big props to Ole Miss for doing good in that game. And then in the final game against Ole Miss, this game was played because they were tied 1-1. In the final game, they lost 7-3 to Ole Miss, which ends their season now as well. So, at least U of A put up a good fight. Can't hate on them as far as softball goes, unlike ASU. But as far as U of A goes, good showing. Ole Miss just happened to be the better team. It is what it is. For baseball, though, so 38 wins going into the tournament. So they have played very good. U of A baseball, they could really make a case for the tournament. They really could make a case. On Thursday, they took on BYU, who beat ASU before that, and they won 4-1. So they take care of the Cougars in the first game, and then they took on the first seeded West Virginia, and they demolished them 12-1. So baseball for U of A, they're really making Arizona College relevant in the sport. I don't think there's another college team in for Arizona baseball that can lift a candle to the Wildcats right now for baseball or softball. Maybe softball, but baseball, hands down, the Wildcats. 12-1, they beat West Virginia, and then tomorrow on the 24th, they're going to be taking on either Kansas or TCU. Whoever wins between those two teams, they'll be taking on Kansas or TCU in the Big 12 championship game. So get ready, Wildcat fans, get ready. Tomorrow will be a very big game for them. I think U of A is going to win it. I really do. No matter who they play, I really think U of A is going to win it. I think they're going to take the Big 12 championship game. This one's also at Globe Life Field in Texas as well. So should be a very good game. Can't wait. Definitely will be keeping tabs on it. As far as GCU goes, in the WAC tournament for baseball, they did win the first game. They beat Utah Tech 7-6, a very close game. But GCU, the Lopes ended up taking it late in the game, so good showing for them a little bit. And then let's see here, and then they lost to Sacramento State 7-5. Sacramento State, obviously, this game was played in Mesa too, so Sacramento State was obviously excuse me, the first seed. They were the better team. GCU did put up a decent fight though in this game. I'll give them credit for that, but pitching kind of blew it late, and Sacramento State just ended up taking it 7-5. Not the best outing for them there. And then in the final game, they or in their recent game, they lost 9-7 to UT Arlington. So the pitching in the last two or all 3 games, pretty much for the most part, the pitching was not really there. Could have been a little bit better, but unfortunately, that's just how it went. The offense did pretty good. They scored at least 5 runs in each game, all you could really ask for. So pitching is what really messed up GCU for baseball. Then for softball, they also put up a good fight. They lost to Ole Miss in the first game of the regionals, 7-4. They won the second game against Santa Clara 9-4. And then they lost to U of A, obviously, as I talked about previously, which ended it all for them 4-1 in that game. So, some pretty good games, and definitely going to be keeping tabs on U of A for tomorrow's game when they're in the Big 12 championship. We'll see how that game goes. But Overall, some pretty good games. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really get into college baseball or softball until recently, and it's really fun watching these games. These games are pretty fun to watch. Not gonna lie. Um, so yeah, U of A is going to be taking on Kansas or TCU in the championship game. So definitely we'll be keeping tabs on that game as they get closer to the end of the season. So yeah, we won't be able to talk college baseball or softball for a while here in a little bit. Fortunately, that's how it is. The season ends at some point, right? So we'll see how the rest of the season goes for U of A. Give some updates on that next week. But guys, that is going to do it for episode 45 here on the AZ Sports Zone. Once again, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know we didn't get a lot of people in here. I did go live a little bit later, so maybe that's my fault. But next week I should be good to go for being live. Actually, I may not be live at all next week because of the fact that I will be going to the game next Friday. So we will see. Maybe see you guys the following week, but we'll see if I can reschedule another day. But once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in here. This has been episode 45 of the AZ Sports Zone. Once again, shout out to our sponsors, Planet Jerky, Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, Vital Apparel, Seal the Deal Wax Seals, and of course, shout out to IE Sports Radio. It was great to be back here on another Friday evening. And of course, a reminder, you guys can follow me on X here at AZ Sports Zone IE, where I will give updates on the Arizona Cardinals, Phoenix Suns, Arizona Diamondbacks, any Arizona college team, you guys name it. I will give the updates on that and give you guys my thoughts on the news that breaks out as well. But we had we had some pretty good news today for the Cardinals and the Diamondbacks. We'll see if more Suns news comes out at some point. It's really been a very big dead period for the Suns so far. But shout out to Taryn and Ralph Calise for tuning into the show when they could. And of course, shout out to all of you guys as well. If you guys missed this episode, you guys can watch it at some point later. But once again, guys, see you guys next week, or maybe a different day next week, not Friday. And see you guys very soon. Have a great rest of your week. Stay safe, and we are out of here.